事，我哋而家夠鐘又夠。
So it's the appointed time, and we've formed the quorum. First round, Dr. Fernando Zhang, 5 minutes. Thank you, Chairman. This is a project on reprovisioning of the community hall and rehabilitation services. It's impossible for us not to support it. We're talking about preschool services. A child aged between 0 to 6 needs services. If there are special needs, we should have early intervention. For PAC-10, SCCC, and EETC, according to the latest information on SWD, as of the 31st of January 2015, and those who have enrolled are that actually applied for the places in February 2013. So the waiting time is over 2 years. So children have to wait for 2 years before they can get a place in the SCC and ETC. And then they have to leave the centers when they reach 6, because the centers provide services to children up to the age of 6. So if the children's special needs are identified and they have to wait for another 2 years, it will be very possible that they have already passed the age of 6. So I hope that the government can increase the number of service units as soon as possible. We've made that request many times. It's impossible for us not to support this project, and we hope that you can commission it soonest. We have asked you to add more places, not just in this center, but in other districts as well. You haven't exhausted the plot ratio. Can you do a better job? You can actually ask different service providers and not just one service provider to provide the service. Can you not do a better job? I know that you have added a number of places, and you are relocating the staircases, making available more places, but then it's just a drop in the bucket. Can you maximize the plot ratio? To my understanding, it can be 9. What about the present situation? Is it just a 3 to 4? Can we improve on the design to make available more space and double or even triple the number of places? Mr. Low. Perhaps Ms. Yong can repeat our considerations. This is a complex. We have taken on board a number of factors. And she can also say something more about the social facilities in Shamshapel, the future development, and so on and so forth. Ms. Yong, let me reiterate. This is a community hall and a community complex, and it has to do with the reprovisioning of existing facilities. This location was originally open space in the area, and the site is rather small, and right next to it are residential blocks, Yun Tin House and Chak Tin House, and they are not very tall. There aren't too many stories in a community hall, and the height of each floor is quite high, and this is a massive building. There are the SCCC and EETC, which will be housed within the building or the complex, and the height of that complex is half of that in the building next to it. And the district council has already said that we are taking over the open space enjoyed by the residents. And, well, for provisioning the facilities, the residents are willing to give up the open space. We have to tread carefully and try to strike a balance among the various factors, including the environment, the residents' views, and the district councillors' views. So this is the proposal that we come up with after taking care of all these factors. This is a small site. We haven't maximized the use of the plot ratio, it's true. But when we look at the background of this place, it used to be an open space. And I think our present proposed PR and the building design are appropriate. Now, after the PWSE meeting, we've worked hard to add more places. We have to take into account the redevelopment timetable, and we don't want to have overspending. So that's why we just did some fine-tuning, and we've worked closely with the SWD colleagues to try to add as many places as possible in response to the members' demands. So much for my response. Ms. Sit-Ho. Thank you, Chairman. Third round, 2 minutes. I hope that the government officials can care more about the disadvantaged. You said you consulted the district councillors and the residents, and the residents may not have the whole of Hong Kong in mind. And the SWD is obliged to tell the district council that there are insufficient SCCC places in Hong Kong. So we should take the opportunity to add more places. If you haven't mentioned that, and I think the SWD should be reprimanded. The average waiting time is 19 months, and it may differ from district to district depending on the number of places available in each district. In some cases, children from NT West have to travel to Shamshui Po to get the service. And SCCs are not like ordinary kindergartens, which are everywhere. There is a shortage of such facilities. And children from all over Hong Kong need such services, and they may travel across districts to get the service. So I'm proposing a motion which has been handed over to you, and I hope that the government should identify sites to increase the number of SCCC places to cut down on waiting time. So I have moved the motion based on Rules of Procedure 37A. Ms. Sito, perhaps I have to take a break for several minutes to seek the advice of the legal advisor. You've moved this motion under 37A. Let me try to read it. The government should expeditiously identify land to find sites for providing SEC services to cut down on waiting time. Well, I am particularly mentioning about this project. You asked the government to identify land, but I'm afraid that they may not be very related to the item. Perhaps we'll take a break for 5 minutes and I'll study the motion with the legal advisor.